The reality of gacha games and how to play them. This is a big one. I'm not here for a top 5 gacha games you must play in 2025. Also not here to tell you not to play gacha games because they are bad or whatever. We are here to understand them better. So let's go over it from the beginning and we can find out together if they are for you. Video games offer the chance to interact with worlds beyond our imagination. Immersive unlike any other media. The work behind it is nothing short of an art form. Within this media, gacha games are a really popular genre for many good reasons. And for the other reasons, they can be problematic. So let me walk you through it, whether you know all about it or you are completely new to this genre. We are gonna talk about some fascinating topics for everyone. But who even am I? Milk! That's me! I've been playing gacha games for years as a content creator and I have tons of experience both as a player myself and as a guide for others. Oh, and I do have a video game design degree, I guess that should count for something. And also a dedicated community who loves to share their passion for these types of games. So now that we've established some of my credibility, let's break this down. Knowledge is key, so you can make your own informed decisions. Let's start with the meaning of gacha. Gacha games implement the gachapon mechanic, which consists of spending a fictional currency in-game to get a random item out of a given pool, usually with some form of guarantee after enough spending. So a game of chance, a type of gambling if you will, which despite its negative connotations, it means to take a risk in hope of obtaining your desired result. That in itself is not bad, but everything that shines has a shadow next to it. Anytime luck is involved, people can be enticed with the possibility of being the lucky one, like we are the main character. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's go back to the origins of gacha. It started with gashapon machines in Japan. Those small random time machines you can put a coin into. They have evolved in many forms. The reality is that games of chance have likely existed since the start of civilization and taken on countless forms. Think about it, isn't the lottery just that? Opening Pokemon cards? Or maybe even picking an answer at random on a test. How many times can you recall just trying to get lucky? Because at their core, they are all a game of chance. Let's flip a coin. If it lands on heads, I give you $1. If it lands on tails, I give you 10. Deal? But what if instead I offer you a guaranteed $5? Would you take the chance to get lucky? Or guarantee the lesser price? It's fine to choose either, but you may lean more into chance games if you pick the coin. So why do we like chance games? Humans love games, and they also love getting lucky, and feeling like they worked hard for their reward. Isn't it really satisfying when you get something you really wanted and worked extremely hard to get? Chance games skip the effort in a way, or partly, and give you the reward if you win. But if you lose, of course, you don't get anything. Or way less. To gamble for the thrill, the excitement of getting lucky, while not knowing what's gonna happen. That's part of the reason why so many still enjoy that. I honestly don't think this is fundamentally problematic. It's a fun thing to enjoy, but like everything, it can be misused, as I will talk about too. Because what would happen if I made you pay $1 to flip the coin? What if I quietly waited the coin to land on the $1 side more? Maybe you win a few times. You feel lucky. You're feeling good. But the more we play, the more it would show how I win most of the time. Make a bunch of people play and we get a business of chance. That can become a problem for those who get lost in the sauce and spend money they shouldn't. But just understanding how this works already helps to avoid that. To further this concept, let's talk about currency. It started with real coins inside a real machine. But with video games on the rise, it became diamonds, gold, Genesis, Primo Gems, and so many other things. You may notice something in common with all of those. They are shiny. We are simple humans, we like shiny things. And even if it may be subtle, it adds up subconsciously. So how do we get the shiny currency? There's usually two ways. You can either play the game to earn it at a slow, usually timed pace, or you can spend real money for it. And some may think, oh, that's fine, I'll just play the game so I don't have to spend money. But what if you cannot get enough for what you want before it's unavailable? At the end of the day, you may get lucky with those diamonds, or you may not. And on top of that, there's so many tactics at play to make you want more. Remember, the game needs to make money, and it's designed to do so. So, of course you're not gonna be able to get every single item possible without spending money. And of course there's gonna be incentives to make you want to spend money too. Like an item that makes it a bit easier for you to play the game and get more back with the same effort. Or making a desired item time limited. Real time plays a huge role in most of these games to make sure you are actively playing. And the last point about the currencies is something many people find overwhelming. Numbers. But don't worry, I'll keep it simple. I just want you to be aware of some basic strategies that may make you spend more money than you intend to. Let's say you need 1 diamond for 1 pull, which means 1 chance at getting what you want. And you can spend $1 for that 1 diamond. Okay, simple, right? You pull 10 times and you spend $10. Cool. But that's not how gacha games work. Companies will set it so you spend $0.99 for 1,658 emeralds that you can then convert into 1,658 diamonds, so you can do your pulls for 1,600 diamonds, pull 10 times, and you try to calculate how much it is. Whatever, I won't even bother, I'll just pull more. So basically the conversion is confusing, and you are forced to convert multiple times to make less obvious what you are actually spending. It may seem easy to avoid such harmful behaviors, but when it's obscured and shiny and there's a whole community of people around you doing the same, it's easier to get lost. In a similar manner, we keep seeing new gacha games come out, offering new, free and shiny things. You feel happy, they're happy. We all happy, right? Yeah, but no. Most of these games are designed to make you extremely happy in the beginning, then slowly stop giving so much for free, so you chase the feeling you look forward to. More updates, events and shiny things that you will be able to enjoy, just like you did at the start. And that may be true for some time, but as time goes on, you build habits, you log in daily, play for a bit, have some fun, and move on. Things are great. More time has passed, your shiny things have dulled a little bit, and the game starts indirectly pushing you to spend more money or time you may not have to get a newer and shinier thing. Thing is that you have dedicated so much time already, it would be a shame to walk away now, which is known as the sunk cost fallacy. So you keep playing and paying to keep up, not as happy as you used to be necessarily, but still content. Until one day the company makes a grave mistake. They show they are still a company trying to make as much money as possible, and it clicks. The community, who has been getting increasingly upset over small things, realizes how these millionaires don't care about your feelings or well-being. And now that mistake has led to a wave of people quitting. To others, it may come off as an abrupt decision. Why would you quit just because of that? But the reality is that it's almost never a singular thing, but the build-up of them and the cherry on top. So what can you do to counter some of these tactics? Well, in regards to the sunk cost fallacy, it helps to not spend money as a long-term investment, but as a present purchase for entertainment if you do decide to spend disposable income. And of course, don't spend what you're not willing to lose. And also don't spend just enough for a possibility at something that is not guaranteed. At least not if you wouldn't be happy with the likely outcome of not getting what you want. I've heard stories from so many people making mistakes like that, and it can really go downhill. What else? Desirability. Another important aspect is that the more you want something, the more frustrating it will be to not get it. That applies to everything, including the secondary luck-based systems within Gacha, like artifacts, gear you can use with random stats that you can also earn by playing the game, or in some cases, paying extra to increase your chances. Even if you don't need something, you may want it. That's fine. But it's also really important to know the chances of getting what you want, so you know what you should expect, as opposed to feeling like you are unlucky and growing in desperation. We tend to see examples of good luck in social media, a lot of them. But that is not the average you should expect. Lucky things get shared, but the real average or unlucky ones don't, because they are less interesting. That's also why I always recommend lowering your expectations and minimizing the random factors as much as possible. That means managing your resources in order to be able to guarantee what you want the most. You can even make a list of your priorities to keep you focused on your goals. You may not be able to get it all, but that's fine, it's part of the process. Remember, most limited time items will have a reappearance. Patience is key. But I would be a fool to expect everyone to easily save their resources when most games incentivize the opposite. It's something to work towards and be mindful of, but honestly, it's also not for you if you just wanna live in the moment and don't care about regrets or losses later on. So what about the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO? That fear of pressure is what leads many to making irresponsible or regretful decisions. FOMO is a very real thing that companies take advantage of. Many people don't want to miss out on that latest toy, especially when you only have a few weeks to get it. But when FOMO hits, it's a good moment to remind yourself of your priorities and the negative consequences that can come along. If after that you're still more tempted than usual, it can be beneficial to find enjoyment in others sharing their experience, though that may make you want it yourself more, in all honesty. But, just find out whatever works for you. Another option in some games, when you have time but not the money, is to make second accounts to grind more currency you wouldn't be able to obtain otherwise. It can work, but it's obviously pretty time consuming and hard to keep up with. So who are gacha games for? What type of people should avoid them given the addictive nature they come with? Well, it depends. It's not just one thing. Many factors can contribute to this, some of which include financial situation, free time, stress outside of the game, your mental health, knowledge of the systems in place, personal preferences, and this last one can express itself in so many ways too. It's important to understand that we are all different. We enjoy different aspects of life in different ways, and they are all valid. It's totally reasonable to find others who you share passions with. You don't have to enjoy something the same way someone else does to be respectful of their space and enjoyment. If you think about it, you want to be respected for being yourself, and so do they. It makes sense. Obviously, within certain standards of morality, but that's a whole different topic. But for real, there's so much time and passion that goes into a person's feelings towards the game they like. Making fun of that is not funny. You really don't need to bring others down to lift yourself. Find others who like what you like and be respectful. For those who are different from you, enjoy them being happy, and they will enjoy you too. It really can be contagious, and so much healthier, if you ask me. Now that we understand more of the situation as a whole, how can I still play in a harmless way? How can I get my money's worth when I go to a buffet? After all, so many of these gacha games have evolved into more than their base mechanics. An enticing story, beautiful art, interesting characters, satisfying combat, emotional voice acting, outstanding music, and so much more. At that point, why would I care about the game trying to make a huge profit? It's giving me so much entertaining and fulfilling content. You pay to go to a concert. You pay to watch a movie at the theater. It's just a different system as opposed to paying ahead of time like we usually would, even on other video games. It's actually closer to Netflix subscriptions if you think about it. You pay for entertainment, you get attached to a series, and Netflix maintains good content, sometimes, and suggests the best matches for you. But back on point. If you think, why should I care about how the company makes money? That's cool too. But it's still important to be aware of how it works and how it can affect you. Because these games tend to use predatory practices, which means being deceptive or manipulative with the intent to get more money out of you. And that is where it can get pretty harmful. Going back to the previous example. If I rig the coin from earlier for it to have an even higher chance of landing on $1, but I didn't tell you and hit the change in a 10-page document you had to sign before flipping? Predatory practice. Sometimes it may be more obvious like that, and some other times it may be more subtle. And that's why many companies have been forced to state the real probability of their games and such. So, do you still wanna play? If you do, fantastic, and I mean it. Because if you still want to, it means that you can apply all of this knowledge to make well-informed decisions based on your own situation. And if you don't want to play anymore, that's also great for the exact same reasons. Everybody's different. Not everything is made for everyone. Some will enjoy exploring the worlds, others the combat, the music, the plants, the rocks, it really doesn't matter. You do you, and let others do so too. Sure, gacha games sometimes feel like going to a website without adblock. Nonetheless, you really don't have to spend money on these games to enjoy them, but you may have to adapt to them. And if that's how you decide to play, remember to be thankful of those who decide to spend money, because they're funding the game so you can keep playing for free. It's also a really good idea to take breaks whenever you need them, whether it's 1 day, 2 weeks, 3 months, 4 years, or whatever it may be. People get burnt out and stop enjoying things the same way at a point. In real life, it's extremely important to prioritize. They may be just games, but they can mean a lot to many, including myself. Enjoy them how you want to, and don't let them or others get in your pursuit of happiness.